Hi everybody, this video will show you how to take through Design Space 5 different SVGs which let you make these lovely shadow frame boxes. There are 4 different ones. All the frames are actually the same external size, so they've all got an external frame of 26.3 centimeters, which is 10.3 inches, an aperture at the window front of 8 inches, which is 205 mil, and then they've got different box depths. So this one we're looking at here is the box that's 4 centimeters deep, but you also get one that's 50, one that's 30, and one that's 20. So that's just that picture there. That one's there's the 40, as I said. That shows you that the frame overlaps around all external edges, and it also overlaps at the front. So it is, your design is inside this box, and then like lots of shadow boxes do, the frame is just a little bit within the size of the actual box underneath. So that's the one from the front. The thing I like about these is you can make your own frames from some really pretty card, rather than just having to have the black and white that we usually get and the wood maybe that we can buy in the shops. So that is the 5 centimeter box there, and that's what I did with it just as a mock-up. Those roses I already had, and they're quite big, and they go nicely in this 2-inch deep box. You get, because the frame is separate and sits on top of these different width, different depth boxes, you've got the opportunity to put in an acetate window, which a lot of shadow box SVGs you buy don't. They're just like an open tray almost that you might put your things into. But this is a separate frame which goes on top of the box, so you can put that PVC window in between them, and you can put vinyl on it just as you would on normal glass. I'll give a link in the PDF of instructions that comes with this of where I buy my PVC. It's 230 micron, so it's very strong and it's not expensive. They're actually binder sheets for documents, the ones that I buy. This one is the 2 centimeter deep box. I really love this one. I think of all the mock-ups I've had to make, this is my favourite one. And I really like that you can maybe make a frame that complements the artwork or the keepsakes, whatever you've got inside the frame. That's definitely my favourite one. I love it. Right, okay, so 4 different depths of box, and the frame is the same all the way. Let's take it into Design Space and look at how it's made. So I'll bring the frame in first. This is it. Each frame is made up of 2 straight walls and 2 mitred walls, and that forms the sloping mitred corners at each corner. And once we've converted the scores, we're going to have to duplicate these, so you've got 2 of each. So the SVG has landed on your canvas, it's already selected. First thing you're going to do is click Ungroup. I'm using the desktop version for PC, so Ungroup for me is at the top of the Layers panel here. So that gets rid of that outer group, and now we can see the 2 subgroups there. And with my SVGs, the first group always contains only the lines that need converting to scores. All the cut pieces are in that group below. So you're just going to select that first subgroup. It doesn't have to be open when you select it. It can be closed as it is now, when it comes in automatically. Go to your operations menu. The lines are currently set to cut. We can't make them come in any other way. Click on Basic Cut and choose Score from the drop down, and you can see that they've been converted now. And while they're still selected, we're going to ungroup those now. Then we select that other group that's got the 2 cut pieces in it, and all we need to do there is ungroup. Have I done it? Yes. So now everything on canvas is a separate piece. You still see these little groups here, and that's because, can you see these dotted, I'll just zoom in, these dotted lines here, they're a guide when you come to do the assembly. They're grouped with each piece, because otherwise they'd cut separately. Oops. So don't bother ungrouping those other groups there. As long as your piece and your scores are separate and we can get to them and attach them, that's all you need. So click on canvas somewhere near a piece, more or less enclose it, and click attach. And now, as I said, we need 2 each of these walls. The instructions do tell you that. You don't need to remember from this video. So if we click make it, I don't want to save it. Remember, the frames are the same size The external frame is the same size for all the different depths of box you get on this one. I will do sets with different frame sizes later on. So you can choose to cut these from 12 by 12. And if you're going to do that, you'll need 2 sheets of 12 by 12 to cut it. Let's just go back to the canvas and see what wiggle room we've got. I mean, if this was me and all I had was A4, that's what I would use. You can't use letter, sadly. It is too long for letter, so if you can't get A4 where you are looking at 12 by 12. But in the UK and Europe, where we can get A4, it's 288 millimeters long, this thing. Call it 289 because it's 0.08. That gives you about 9 millimeters to play with. So what I might do is you're going to have to choose 12 by 12. So, tell you what, this is only if you want to squeeze it on A4. We'll select that one, and then I just want to select the cut piece. So I'm just going to make this any other colour, doesn't matter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to cut, but I can't choose, oh, it lets me choose A4. For those pieces I can choose A4. For this one, I can't, and that's why I have to make them different colours, because I want them to be on different mats. So I would choose 12 by 12 with that. That means you can use your standard mat, and putting the A4 on the page, just zoom out a little bit if I can. What have I done? When you put your A4 on, just put it a couple of millimetres away from the very first white line on your cutting mat, and that will give you a little bit of play over here, and it will cut perfectly from a sheet of A4. I did all my, excuse me, I made all my prototypes from A4 just so I'm not wasting lots of expensive card, and they cut beautifully from that size. So what you would do there now is you'd just cut them twice. You can't even choose 2, because if you do apply, it will put 2 on a 12 by 12, and you don't want that if you're sneaking it through on A4. So you still have to do 1 copy, but just cut it twice. Send that mat twice, send that mat twice. That's only if you want to sneak it onto A4. If you're not bothered, just send it on 2 sheets of 12 by 12. So that's what you need to make the frame, 2 sheets of 12 by 12. So now we'll bring in, let's start with the biggest box, which must be that one. Right, so the idea behind these frames, they're built in a similar way to the Minecraft chest and the keepsake boxes I made recently, in that they've got these rolled walls top and bottom, which makes them really strong. And so that's why it looks like this. It looks a little bit odd. Don't worry, don't be put off. They're actually not difficult. You do need to be painstaking, but they're not difficult to get your head around, I don't think. And once you've made one, you will understand exactly what you're doing, and your next one will be easier. So we need to do the same thing. We're just going to ungroup it. It lands on your canvas, and again, like before, this top group here contains all the score lines that you need to convert to score. So once you've converted them, ungroup them, and then we need to click on that group below and just ungroup it. And so now everything's separate on canvas, and we can just attach the scores to the pieces that they relate to. Attach for me is at the bottom of the layers panel, but I'm on my PC, so I usually use Alt-A on my keyboard. It's a bit quicker. I was talking about the construction of the box, wasn't I? And that's because I wanted to mention these pieces here, which line the box on the inside, because it's made with this double wall top and bottom. You don't want to see that when you look into the box, so they're lined, which is quite nice because it means you could make your outer frame out of one colour, like I did with, for instance, this let me find it, like say that black one there. I made the whole outer frame from black, which I think looks really smart. But then, because I lined it with white. So it's black on the outside, but white on the inside. And the back of the box is also a separate piece. Did we look at the back? Yes. So you can see there, the back is white. But if you wanted, say, your black frame with white walls and a red back, that's also really easy to achieve as well. So that's another thing I like about this design. You've got that ability to really get lots of different colours in there if you want them. make a different background for your keepsake pieces. I know you could do that anyway with a normal frame, but it's just nice to have it there because a lot of these things are made in one piece. Right, back to design space and stop waffling, Judith. Okay, so that's why I mentioned these bits here. These are the linings, and so the setup, it's set up so that the whole frame and the linings cut from one colour, but you can decide what you're doing. So for instance, if you were making your outer walls out of one colour, you could make your frame, I don't know, say you wanted it a pale blue, and then your linings could be another colour altogether. Just change it with the colour panel up there and you'll get your different mats created. This is the piece that you would cut the PVC window from, and as you can see, it's just over 24 centimeters, so A4 or letter acetate is not going to be big enough. I buy A3 sheets of PVC, as I said earlier on, in 230 micron, and they're lovely. They're really thick and really strong, and the other thing I like about them as well is you can clean them up really easily, because obviously when you're cutting this stuff on your mat, even if you've got a nice clean mat, it is going to get some sticky bits on it, and that's no good for a frame, is it? But if you just put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a piece of cotton wool, just wipe over the frame, A, before you fit it to your box, and then B, after you've fitted it to your box, you've got a lovely crystal clear window on your shadow box. Right, so let's hit make it and see what we need. So we know we need a sheet of A3 or tabloid of PVC for the window, and then what happens if we choose A4? Yeah, the actual walls you can cut from A4 on this one. You can't cut them from letter. This is the deepest box, but you wouldn't be able to cut, obviously, that back. You would have to do that from 12 by 12. So we'll just try that again. So we could actually choose 12 by 12 for everything. And since that's what most of us are going to be able to get hold of, that's what we'll talk about. So if you were making this deepest box from 12 by 12, you'd need one sheet of PVC or acetate, whatever you use, and 6 sheets of 12 by 12. 1, 2, 3, 5. 6 sheets altogether, isn't it? 5 sheets of 12 by 12. But if you're in the UK, the box will actually cut from A4 apart from the back. So when I was talking about making your back in a different colour, you could use 12 by 12 or A3 for that, and then you could cut the rest of the box from A4. Right, so that's the deepest box. I'll get rid of those, I'm not going to cut it, and we'll bring in the 40mm one now, which must be this one. Yep. So it's exactly the same procedure. We're only looking now. Is it going to come in? What did I do? Where is it? What am I doing wrong? Upload, select it, add to canvas. How strange. Anyway, there it is now. Same as before, we're going to ungroup it, select that first group, convert them to score and ungroup them, select the group underneath, just ungroup it, and then we can attach the scores to the cut pieces. That's attached at the bottom of the layers panel, but again, as I said, I use Alt-A on my keyboard. It's just a bit quicker. So again, with this one, you've got the lining pieces. So this piece never changes, so you're always going to need A3 or 12 by 12 for that. And because we're now talking about a shallower box, these will still go on A4 or 12 by 12. So let's just choose 12 by 12 for all of them. And there we'd need, 1, 2, 3.5 sheets of 12 by 12 for the actual box, and then 1 sheet for the window. So that's quite good. What happens? We can't choose. So let's just, for argument's sake, make that a different colour. Just pretending we're cutting the back from a different colour, and then we'll make it. And then obviously you'd need 12 by 12 or A3 for that. 12 by 12 for the acetate. We can cut all that from A4, and if you did that, you'd need 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of A4. So that's quite economical as well. Okay, so that's the second deepest box, the 40 centimetre. Let me get back to the one that's got the measurements on it. 40 centimetre, 1.57 inches deep one. Right, so now we'll bring in the 30mm deep one, which is, I've forgotten already, 1.18 inches, 1.2 inches, about 1 inch and a fifth. That one. So again, ungroup it as soon as it lands on your canvas. Select that top group, go to your operations menu, choose score from the drop down and ungroup. That ungroup is really important, otherwise you won't be able to attach individual pieces. And then select this group with all the cut pieces in it and ungroup that. And now we can attach scores to individual pieces. Just going to use the keyboard now. And these are the lining pieces. So again, this piece is the same, so we'll look at it first on 12 by 12. Even in the UK we call it 12 by 12, easier than saying 30.5 by 30.5. And would they go there? See, it's put those on a mat on its own, but I think maybe you'd still need one more. Let's just try it. Let's just select both of those, move, and see if they'll go on there. Oh, it just won't. Goes there, but that one, I'd be inclined to cut that there anyway, because that's only a rolled up glue tab on the main box piece there, which you won't see. In fact, can we sneak it a bit closer? I'd rather do that than waste another sheet of 12 by 12, wouldn't you? So 3 sheets of 12 by 12 for the main box, and again 1 for the acetate. But obviously the pieces are getting smaller as the boxes get shallower. So let's just try that with, oh hang on, we have to change this colour, don't we, so it goes on a mat on its own. So again, got to choose 12 by 12 for the window and for the box back, and then for these we can choose A4. Still can't choose letter, too long for letter. So if we did that from A4, we'd need 4 sheets of A4, just like the slightly deeper box actually, and then the 12 by 12 for the box back and the acetate. And so now we'll bring in the 2 centimetre deep box, and the difference with this one is the side walls are made in a slightly different way, and that means the box doesn't need to be lined. If we go back to one that I know is a 20 centimetre deep one, this one, you can see those are just the colour that the walls are made from, because it's made in really one solid piece as the wall. It's still a double wall construction, so it's very strong, but it's just one roll, so there's no frame to cover up, if you know what I mean. They're not lined, those ones. Right, again, it's dropped onto your canvas. It is selected, so we just ungroup it, then select that top group, operations menu, choose score and ungroup, and then select the group that holds all the cut pieces and ungroup that. So now everything's separate. There's the window, as I'm calling it, there's the box back, and these are the walls. And you are shown how to assemble every single piece of all of these boxes, including this one with a slightly different method for these walls. So you don't need to remember anything from this video. It's all shown really clearly in the PDF of instructions that you get. It took me a lot longer to write the instructions than it did to design the box, I should say. It took me about a whole day to do the instructions. Right, so let's have a look at that. So we know we've got to choose 12 by 12 for that big piece, so let's just do that for now. This, remember, this is the 2 centimetre deep box. 12 by 12. Right, so we'd need, yeah, about 2.5 sheets of 12 by 12, if that's what we use there. But let's just make that, you're probably going to need, Yeah, I don't think you'll get those all on A4. I mean, they will lengthwise, but not widthwise, so 12 by 12 is probably the best cut for those. Can do it in A4. Oh no, oh that's good. Yep, 2 sheets of A4, so that's nice. So for that one, that's 2 sheets of A4 for the whole box, for the box walls, and then 12 by 12 for the back and 12 by 12 for the acetate. Right, I don't think I need to show you anything else. If you've got any questions when you come to cut or assemble them, please do get in touch. Probably not a project for a beginner. Again, this one, I'm doing lots of quite complex projects lately. I mean, I'm not saying don't have a go, but you do need to be dexterous, I would say, to make this one. You can't really go wrong. As long as you're painstaking, you'll get a lovely result, but you really do need to be painstaking. You need to be comfortable with gluing card. You've got to use glue on some of these joins. Tape won't do it. So as a first project, I think you might find it a little bit frustrating. But if you're confident with paper crafts and you've done a lot of it, then you'll be fine with this one. If you need to get in touch about anything, the links to Etsy and Facebook are in the description below. And if you've just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVGs, there are 4 of them in the bundle. The link to do that is also in the description. Don't forget, if you're purchasing 3 or more SVG files at one time from the Tanglecrafts Studio Etsy shop, the link is in the description, you can use the 30 for 3 discount code to get 30% off your total purchase. This offer runs all the time, but you need to use that code when you check out. And if you haven't already joined the Tanglecrafts Studio Facebook group, join now to get any special Etsy discount codes issued to group members and to take advantage of the free SVG files I give away in the group from time to time. The link to the group is in the description. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.